Should you be withholding taxes on your Social Security income? Well, let's talk about that today. Hey there, how's it going? My name is Christian with Plan Your Federal Retirement, back with another video with our All About FERS series. And yes, I'm going to be talking about taxes, but having to do with Social Security. So recently, I was meeting with a client who just turned 70 years young, and he turned on his Social Security. And we had that conversation. They're in a tax bracket around 24%. And they've been making estimated tax payments all throughout the year. When they turn on their Social Security, they didn't have any taxes withheld on it. And that was one of my recommendations moving forward, that they would withhold for taxes on their Social Security. And it was a good discussion as we went back and forth as to, at first, why they didn't want to have taxes withheld, but ultimately kind of coming up to the realization that they don't really want to keep making those estimated payments to the IRS. They would rather have a lot of their taxes already be withheld from their various sources of income, and including the pension from both him and his wife. And so really that's the theme that I'm seeing with a lot of my clients in retirement, is that we really want to try as best we can to have taxes withheld from the sources of income that we're going to have, right? So if it's a FERS pension, let's make sure the taxes are appropriately being taken out of that. Social Security, same thing, whether that's TSP or traditional IRA distributions or any other sources of income that you have. I'm a fan of having it withheld to match what the IRS is saying that you'll owe for taxes at the end of the year based on the different various tax brackets, rather than having to make those estimated payments. That's just my personal preference. And I see a lot of different clients, they tend to agree. Now, there's some out there that prefer to make those estimated payments, have a little bit more control because maybe their income is quite variable, which is definitely understandable. But I'd say for a majority of people in retirement, if their income isn't so variable, that withholding on the various sources of income generally makes the most sense. I'm a big fan of it with Social Security, but as we know, not all of Social Security is taxed. It could be taxed at 0%, all the way up to 85% of the Social Security is taxed. So the example I give is if you make $10,000 a year in Social Security, up to $8,500 of it would be subject to tax based on your income. So to better answer that question of should you withhold taxes on your Social Security, you're definitely going to want to run through a basic tax calculator to determine what your marginal tax bracket is and what your effective tax bracket is. That's something that we here at Plan Your Federal Retirement help our clients do. So if you have a question on that and you wanted us to do that, we certainly could help you with that. But find somebody that could do it, whether it's with us or not, or you could try to find to do it yourself to estimate what your taxes are when you plug in your Social Security. There's a W-4V, V as in Victor form, for Social Security for a voluntary withholding request specific to Social Security. And there's 4 choices. Actually, there's 5. The 5th is 0% of taxes withheld for Social Security, but the other 4 would be 7%, 10%, 12%, or 22% that you can choose to withhold on your Social Security for federal income taxes. We don't have a choice to withhold for state income taxes on this W-4 form. You're going to have to make up for those somewhere else if you live in a state that taxes Social Security. So it'd be a good thing to know if you do live in one. But you could certainly capture this inside this W-4 form. Now, if you're in a higher tax bracket than 22%, okay, well, the most you can withhold is 22. But again, I'd be, at least for this particular client I was meeting with, a fan of them withholding at 22 instead of having to make those estimated payments moving forward. So hopefully this is helpful. Get you guys thinking about, should you withhold taxes on your Social Security or not? I think yes, a lot of the times makes the most sense, instead of having to withhold extra on another source of income or making those estimated payments. I think it's just simpler to have taxes withheld on that Social Security. So hopefully this is helpful. If you have questions related to this, you could drop your question below in the comment section. Make sure you leave a like on this video, as that helps. And so you're subscribed as well, so that you get our latest videos and content that we put out. And of course, until next time, happy planning.